Iono aka Mega Blitz. In today's video, we're going to be looking at one of my new favorite kind of, I guess, pet decks, if it were. A little bit more of a rogue deck on top of that. It made day 2 at Indianapolis Regionals, and I'm really excited to go over and just kind of show some gameplay footage of this deck. It's very different, it's very innovative, I feel like, and I'm really excited to jump into it. So let's get right in to that deck list. Alrighty, here at that deck list, Klawf Cramorant. Now I have to give a huge shout out to Steven Bates, who had made day 2 with this deck at the Indianapolis Regionals. So huge shout out to Steven. Very nicely done, very innovative and different to kind of adapt to a new way to play Klawf. Because before we would play like Hisuian Electrode V, Spicy Seasoned Curry, and things like that, which we're still doing something very similar to how that deck used to function. Of course, we're still playing the Brute Bonnet with its ability Toxic Powder. Once during your turn, this Pokemon has an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule attached, you may make both active Pokemon poison. Of course, we're playing 4 capsules, so we can use that Toxic Powder. Pair that with Radiant Hisuian Sneasler's ability Poison Peak. During Pokemon Checkup, put 2 more damage counters on your opponent's poisoned Pokemon. Now, for our big hitter, I guess, in this deck is going to be Klawf, of course, with its attack Unhinged Scissors for 2 colorless energy. It says 30 plus. If this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, this attack does 160 more damage. So, we're trying to poison it with Brute Bonnet so we can put a DTE on this, smack something for 170, hitting it for weakness. We're doing a lot more damage on top of that as well. And then, of course, being able to have some poison damage tick over, you know, the 10 originally, and then another 2 on top of that is going to be really nice with that poison peak. And then, of course, as well, we have Cramorant in here with the Colress Experiment. This is kind of where the sauce comes in a little bit here. So we got Colress Experiment, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put 3 in your hand, 2 in the Lost Zone. And then, of course, we're playing 4 Lost Vacuums, so we're able to put anything that is extra of ours, like our Crisis Punch if we don't need it, or extra capsules, or a stadium, or any of our opponent's tools as well. So we can get to 4 in the Lost Zone for Cramorant, because Cramorant's ability says Lost Provisions. If you have 4 or more cards in your Lost Zone, ignore all energies in this Pokemon's attack costs. So Spit instantly for 3 energy quickly becomes free with that 110. Pair that with Crisis Punch. If our opponent has exactly 1 prize card left, we can hit something for 280 damage. So we're a single prize deck, so forcing our opponent to take multiple KOs throughout the game. We got the Bidoof Bibarel line for a draw engine. We got the Cobalion there to do some more damage into things like Roaring Moody X or Charizard or anything like that. Prime Catcher is our ace spec of choice, of course, as well. So for the full deck list here, I got 3 Bidoof, 3 Bibarel, 3 Klawf, 2 Brute Bonnet, 2 Cramorant, 1 Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, 1 Cobalion, 4 Colress Experiment, 3 Iono, 2 Boss, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Nest Ball, 4 Lost Vacuum, 3 Trekking Shoes, 3 Switch, 2 Super Rod, 1 Prime Catcher, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Pokegear, 4 Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, 1 Rescue Board, 1 Technical Machine Crisis Punch, 2 Artisan, 1 Town Store, and 4 Double Turbo Energies. Let's jump right in to that gameplay. Alrighty, here we are at that Klawf Cramorant gameplay here. At our coin flip, our opponent picks tails. So now we always want to be going second in this deck, I feel like. Going first isn't too bad. You're able to evolve Bidoof into Bibarel. But if you're going second, you're able to attack with Cramorant really early, Klawf really early if you need to, or anything like that. So you're going to get some early game pressure on. Starting hand here, we got Bidoof in the active spot. Not too terrible. Our opponent also going to start with Bidoof. We are going to be going second as well. Our opponent going to start us off here with a Nest Ball. Going to do a quick little prize check, see what maybe they're missing in their prize cards here. They're going to grab a Frigiback. So now we know, okay, they're on Chien-Pao back Excalibur. Going to be playing the Iron Hands. Something we're going to have to try to look out for on top of that. They're going to get that Frigiback on the bench there. Attach that Water Energy that Bidoof. Pass turn. We're going to start off with a Trekking Shoes here, and I'm going to take that Nest Ball. I'm going to grab that Nest Ball. That Nest Ball is going to grab me. I'm going to now grab Brute Bonnet. The reason I grab Brute Bonnet here is because I really want to try to get everything kind of just set up. I want to try to get as much of my pieces together as possible. Pokegear, going to grab an Iono. Play the Colress, grab Bibarel, Nest Ball, and Colress Experiment. The reason I grab those is I don't really need Rescue Board in this matchup all that much. A lot of the times I'm going to be trying to take one-hit knockouts, or trying to put myself in a position where I can maybe kill something with poison damage. So, gonna be able to get those cards there, get another Bidoof on the bench, so hopefully we can get 2 Bibarels kind of rolling, because we are playing a 3-3 line of that as well. So very important to try to get that Industrious Incisor set up. Our opponent here going to play Irida, grab themselves Rare Candy backs, going to be able to Rare Candy back Excalibur here, going to be able to play a Pokestop, going to be able to roll that Pokestop as well this turn, but not before they super cold some energies here. Going to be able to have the Industrious Incisors up to 5, then pair that with the Pokestop after so they can get more cards in their hand here. Going to get a Buddy Poffin and a Rare Candy off of that Pokestop here. So that Buddy Poffin going to be able to grab themselves another Frigibax, maybe another Bidoof if they needed or anything like that. They're going to choose to grab 2 Frigibax here. Most Chien-Pao lists only play the 2/2 line of Bidoof Bibarel. Going to be able to attach to that Bibarel, retreat into the Frigibax here. Pass turn. Very important as well. We kind of know, okay, they didn't put up the collect Frigibax, so they don't have any extra energy in their hand to draw a card or anything like that. We're going to evolve our Bidoof into Bibarel. We're going to roll that Pokestop, though, and we're not going to get super punished. We get the Lost Vacuum and Ultra Ball here. Going to play a Colress. Going to grab myself Trekking Shoes, Double Turbo Energy, and Switch. Now I'm going to be able to also put myself in a position where I can hopefully try to find my way into an attack this turn. So, going to Trekking Shoes, get that Ancient Booster Energy capsule for that Brute Bonnet here. Gonna be able to use that Ultra Ball here to be able to grab myself a Klawf or a Cramorant or anything like that. We're gonna Ultra Ball, discard Ultra Ball and Lost Vacuum to grab Cramorant. The reason I grab Cramorant is because I don't want to leak any of the Klawfs or anything yet. I don't want to have to bench any and then risk them getting KO'd. Considering the fact that I already have one in my discard pile, I would rather try to get the Cramorant down, take an early KO, put myself in a position where I already have the Crisis Punch in my hand, so as long as I don't discard it or get rid of it in any way, I can just recycle that Cramorant, put it back on the bench, save the Crisis Punch for the end of the game, potentially. They're going to put up that Bidoof there. They're going to have Irida here. Going to be able to find themselves a Water Pokemon and an item card. Going to find Excalibur, Nest Ball. Going to be able to Rare Candy and another Excalibur probably this turn. Going to also have access to that Nest Ball. Nest Ball is going to grab Chien-Pao, Rare Candy and a second Bax. So now I've kind of wrote off in my head at this point that there is no way for me to want to take KOs on Excaliburs and try to lock them out of that super cold. They got 2 set up. It's going to take too much time, too much resources for me to get to that point. So I'm in a position where I'm going to try to take another single prize KO and then just go 2/2 to win. Maybe KO an Iron Hands or a Chien-Pao or something along the way. So gonna be able to roll Pokestop here, get some nice cards out of that. Gonna be able to super cold, putting an energy on the Bidoof and 2 on the Excalibur, so they could potentially Buster Tail this turn. However, my opponent has different things in mind. They're going to Shivery Chill for 2 energy. Super cold those 2 energies on the Chien-Pao. Going to be able to Hail Blade, discarding 2 to do 120 damage to this Cramorant, putting us at a 5-5 split. So I would have liked to see my opponent use that Excalibur there and just Buster Tail, put themselves in a position where, you know, we're trading single prizers as opposed for leaving this Chien-Pao just kind of trapped in the active. So I'm going to evolve the Bidoof and Bibarel, Super Rod the Klawf and Cramorant back into my deck. Play the Iono here. Going to be able to hopefully find my way into some nice goodies. We're going to get a Trekking Shoes here. We're going to play that Trekking Shoes. We're going to not take the Super Rod here. We're going to get an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Kind of wish I had taken the Super Rod at that point, but that's all right. We're going to roll the Pokestop, get punished, discarding Cramorant, Bidoof, and Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Now, this is where it's going to feel really bad because I don't have any Super Rods left in the deck, I don't think, at this point in the game. So we're going to Lost Vacuum away that capsule, attach another capsule so my Industrious Incisors can draw some more cards. Nest Ball, going to grab me a Klawf here. Now, the reason I grab, or sorry, yeah, I'm going to grab myself, no, the Radiant Hisuian Zealers are also a good pick, but I grab Klawf because I know in this position, it doesn't really matter. I also have the Nest Ball as well, so I can end up just grabbing the Radiant Hisuian Zealers anyway. We're going to be able to get that, get the Poison Peak rolling here. Town Store, going to get myself that Technical Machine Crisis Punch back out of the deck. Just trying to thin my deck as much as I can, trying to make myself in a position where my top decks are as good as they can be. So now I'm going to Prime Catcher up the Bibarel here, and now I'm going to use that Toxic Powder ability. And the reason I Prime Catcher up the Bibarel is because I'm trying to shut off their draw engine. If they don't have a second Bibarel or anything set up, I've shut off that Industrious Incisors, which can really hurt the Chien-Pao deck. Industrious Incisors are really important to the Chien-Pao deck because it allows them to keep filling their hand up to 5. Pairs very nice with Safer Maniacs Code Breaking as well. So we're at a 4-5 split here. Going to be able to Shivery Chill. They're definitely going to be able to get KO on this Klawf, but I don't mind that because I'm in a position where I'm more than likely will be able to find another double turbo energy off of the Colress or both of my Bibarels being set up within Industrious Incisors, being able to draw as many cards as I can. But they're going to be able to super cold here. Got 2 energies on the Chien-Pao, got 1 on the Bidoof, 2 on the Baxcalibur here. Going to Hail Blade, discarding 2 energies, 1 off that Bidoof and Baxcalibur to take a KO on that Klawf, putting us at a 4-4 split. So I like this. We're both of us are on even prizes. I'm putting them in a position where they have to take multiple KOs. I haven't seen the Iron Hands yet, so we're kind of hoping it's prized. So we're in a position where we still got to keep thinking about that Iron Hands, and we got to make sure we save a Klawf because Iron Hands is weak to fighting. So if I can hit that Iron Hands with the Klawf, we're in really good position. We're going to use that Colress experiment. I'm going to grab both those double turbo energies and the counter catcher here. Counter catcher because I know I'm going to end up being behind on prizes. I'm in a position where I can't take a KO on this Chien-Pao this turn, but I'll be able to do a really cool play where I can counter catcher, pull up the Chien-Pao, and just kind of sacrifice a Pokemon, Brute Bonnet, poison it again, and it'll die and get knocked out due to that poison. So we're going to unhinge Scissors for 170. Poison will kind of stack on top of it, putting it at 200. It's going to put my opponent in a position where they actually need to retreat out of this Chien-Pao, or it's just going to get KO'd on the next following turn due to that poison. But that is the reason we took that counter catcher off of that Colress, being able to just pull it back up and then just be able to go, okay, Toxic Powder, it's going to get KO'd to the poison. I'm going to take 2 prize cards because of it. So Super Rod here is what they're going to be using, kind of just looking through their deck, seeing what they have access to. And that Iron Hands is in the discard pile, so they're going to Super Rod in a Bibarel, a Water Energy, and that Iron Hands. Going to be able to Super Rod again here. Going to be able to get them a couple more pieces, to a Chien-Pao and 2 Water Energies is what they're going to elect for that second Super Rod here. So now we know, okay, you've blown through 2 Super Rods. The chances are you probably don't have any more Super Rods left in your deck. So now we're in a position where we can be a little bit more reckless with our resources here. They're going to Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards from their hand, probably to find themselves that Bibarel, so they can set that Industrious Incisors back up in their favor, discarding that Electric Energy and a Silene for that Bibarel, evolve the Bidoof into the Bibarel here. And now they're in a position where they're going to be able to start using the Industrious Incisors to draw some more cards. So on my turn, I have cool things that I can kind of pull off, being the Toxic Powder play. But also, if I can find my way into my second Cramorant, I can set up for that Crisis Punch at the end of the game to take my last 2 prize cards if I can't take a KO on that Iron Hands. So I have like 2 different win conditions depending on how this goes. So they're going to Super Cold here, 3 energies onto the Baxcalibur, going to be able to use that Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, going to be able to Industrious Incisors into those 2 cards that they're going to be putting on top of their deck with that Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, and of course, going to be able to draw an extra card as well. On top of that, they don't really benefit from Town Store, so I can see them maybe putting a Pokestop at the top to try to kind of mill through the rest of their deck, get some more items or something. I'm going to get that Hisuian Heavy Ball to grab that Radiant Greninja, to bench the Radiant Greninja, going to have access to that Moonlight Shuriken and the concealed cards as well. They're going to Buster Tail for 130 here, taking a KO on my Klawf. Now, I'm going to put up the Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, and the reason I put up Radiant Hisuian Sneasler here is I don't really want to sacrifice either of my Bibarels for my draw engine. So, Town Store, just kind of look through the deck here real quick, see what I have access to. We're going to Counter Catcher, pull up that Chien-Pao, of course, going to be able to Toxic Powder both of our Pokemon, but not before I play my Artisan, use my Artisan to grab myself Klawf, just checking to see what all I have left. But I'm actually going to elect to not grab Klawf. And the reason I don't here is because I don't want my opponent to be able to like Prime Catcher or Boss or pull it up and take a KO, because I don't have any Super Rods left and I don't have access to that Cramorant because the other one is in my prize card. So we're going to put the Crisis Punch on the Bibarel here, because I know now in a position where I go, okay, if I get rid of this Crisis Punch, I can put myself in a position where I can keep drawing as many cards as I can, find the Cramorant off of my prize cards, and then I hopefully will be able to maybe like 2-shot, maybe like a Bibarel at the end of the game, or maybe a Baxcalibur or something like that. So we're going to bench that Brute Bonnet here, Industrious Incisors again, getting myself into not a great hand. I got 2 Switch, 2 double turbos, got a Lost Vacuum, which isn't great. But we're just going to pass turn here, because I know I'm going to take a KO on this Chien-Pao, being able to take both those prize cards. So we're going to get Boss and Artisan off the prizes, so we're not going to have access to that Cramorant, unfortunately. However, not too big of a deal though. We're in a position where if we can take a KO on a Baxcalibur and a Bibarel with our Klawf, we're still doing pretty okay. And they're going to end up benching that Iron Bundle. So if I end up taking another single prize knockout, I put myself in a position where I have Boss. So if I can find the Cramorant off of my prize cards and then this next single prize knockout, I will be able to Boss, KO, and win the game. So we're going to remove that Pokestop. Then we're going to play the Artisan to remove the Pokestop. Artisan's going to grab that Klawf here. Check the rest of my deck. Got Iono Ultra Ball left. So now I'm going to be able to attach my double Turbo Energy to my Klawf this turn. Going to be able to play a switch out of that Brute Bonnet into the Klawf. Going to be able to use that Toxic Powder to make sure I KO'd that Baxcalibur, shutting off one of the Super Colds and putting 3 energies in their discard pile along the way. But now first, we're going to Iono my opponent, put 2 cards into my hand, 2 into their hand, just kind of giving them some disruption here. Hopefully that'll be enough. We're going to be able to Industrious Incisors back up to 5. Then we know the last card in my deck is Boss's Orders. So we're going to use that Toxic Powder, unhint Scissors for 170, taking the KO on that Baxcalibur, getting the Cramorant off of our prize cards, so we win next turn. So our opponent needs to pull off something absolutely crazy to be able to win on this turn here. They got access to Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, they got Bibarel Industrious Incisors. I need them to not be able to pull off an Ampu very much. So they have to be able to find not only the Iron Hands, but a Superior Energy Retrieval on top of that to be able to attach 4 energies to their Iron Hands and to the Radiant Greninja, one onto that as well, because I need to be able to retreat out of that, or just have Prime Catcher as well. So you're going to Superior Energy Retrieval, getting 4 energies back in their hand, one of them being that Lightning Energy, bench the Iron Hands because they're going to be able to, they Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking for it to be able to Industrious Incisors into it. They're going to Concealed Cards, discarding energy to draw 2 cards. Going to be able to attach that Lightning Energy here. Going to be able to play a Superior Energy Retrieval, pitch 2 cards from their hand, getting 4 more Water Energies into their hand. Going to be able to Super Cold 3 Water Energies to that Iron Hands, 1 to the Radiant Greninja to be able to pull off an Ampy very much to win them the game. It was really, really close game, and I feel like I really showcased this deck and how much potential it really has, and just kind of a really cool gimmick it's got going on. And our opponent played an absolutely great game as well, being able to kind of really read the situation and know exactly what their out was to win them the game there. Absolutely crazy. So let's jump right in to that outro. Alrighty, that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm gonna make sure to put the deck list that I played in today's video in the description below, so you guys want to try out this Klawf Cramorant deck for yourself, you'll absolutely be able to. If you guys enjoyed the content I've been making so far here on the channel, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!